I want to tell you about our Oklahoma Proven selections for 2005. Now, we've talked about the Oklahoma Proven program on our show several times in the past. It is a program that is made up of different members of the nursery industry in Oklahoma, along with several faculty members in the Department of Horticulture and Landscape Architecture here at OSU. The group meets and selects for each year a tree, a shrub, a perennial, and an annual that we recommend planting throughout Oklahoma. And you can look at the different nurseries where you shop and garden centers to see if they have posters or placards designating Oklahoma Proven plants in their inventory. Well, the group has been together and selecting plants since 1999, and we've picked some really good plants over the years, and 2005 is no exception. And we'll just start with the tree for 2005, and we've got it right here behind me. This is the cedar elm, and you can see it is a nice dark or deep green tree. It has small leaves, and the leaves of the cedar elm are actually some of the smallest of our elm species. This tree gets to be about 60 feet tall, and again, I think the foliage is just really attractive. Nice deep green, dark green, and those small leaves. It is a very tough tree. It's native to Oklahoma, the eastern and southeastern part of the state. It's drought tolerant once established, and it is tolerant of several different types of soil. It can grow in the acidic soils of eastern Oklahoma, but it can also grow in the alkaline soils of western Oklahoma. Another interesting thing about the cedar elm is that it was actually discovered in Oklahoma. One of our early botanists, Thomas Nuttall, discovered this tree in what was Indian Territory back in 1819 down by the Red River, and he named it cedar elm. It's called cedar elm because it is found growing in association with eastern red cedars. The cedar elm is one of the few elms that flowers and fruits or sets seed in the fall as opposed to the spring. The lacebark elm is another elm species that will flower and set fruit in the fall, but all the others do so in the springtime. The cedar elm is sometimes confused with the winged elm because it has wings or little corky ridges along some of the stems in places, but not nearly as large as the actual winged elm does. The winged elm almost looks like bacon. Those wings are so wide. The cedar elm, a great tree for the landscape and one of our more disease-resistant of the elms. Instead of a shrub for Oklahoma Proven for 2005, we've selected a woody vine. And this is it right here. This is the cross vine. Now, it's called cross vine because sometimes when you cut through some of the old stems, you can sort of see a figure of a cross. The vine has orange flowers, and it blooms fairly early in the springtime. It's only got one bloom down here at this time, but you can see the nice orange, kind of red-orange color and that yellow throat. Very attractive, very good for attracting hummingbirds to the garden is the cross vine. But it is mostly a deciduous vine. It's somewhat evergreen if we have a mild winter, so it depends on how cold it is. That will depend on how many leaves hang on and survive through the winter. It grows best in full sun, but it can handle part shade, and it climbs by twining. And then you can also see some of these little tendrils up here that sort of grab a hold. Right up here we've got a few more. So it can grab a hold of things that are sort of rough or small things that it can wrap around. But otherwise, it's probably a good idea to train it with like a string like we've got here. And some little wire would also be good to train this vine to get it to climb on what you want to climb on. It can reach upwards to 30 feet or maybe even more under ideal conditions. And this plant is native in eastern Oklahoma. It's native to sort of the southeastern and south central United States, but its natural range does make it into Oklahoma. Great for covering fences, arbors, or trellises like this one to give some shade, and a unique plant. Not your average everyday vine, but a great tough vine for Oklahoma, the cross vine. The hardy perennial that we've chosen as our Oklahoma Proven selection for 2005 is leadwort. And this is a plant that we talked about quite a bit on our program last fall. You can see there are a few flowers coming on right now, but this plant generally blooms in late summer and into fall. It really looks good in September and October. You can see those crisp blue flowers and those terminal clusters up at the tops of the plant. This plant is absolutely stunning in the fall. Now, as some cool weather comes on in the autumn, the leaves will turn sort of a burgundy reddish color, so you kind of get a two-tone effect of the blue and the burgundy together, and it's very attractive. You can see that the plants don't get all that tall. We've got them here in this raised or terraced bed, and they're only about 12 inches tall. They do spread about 2 feet or maybe even a little bit more than that. Sometimes we see written where they only spread to about 18 inches. Well, they do move out a little bit more so than that. And for that reason, leadwort can be used as a ground cover. You can see that we've got these growing in full sun. They get pretty much full sun all day long, and they absolutely love it. But this plant will grow in quite a bit of shade as well. But the leadwort, a great ground cover, a great low-growing perennial for the front of the border, kind of like we've got right here bordering our hollies. But we've got the leadwort right down in front because it is low. You can see the other plants behind it. A great perennial for Oklahoma, the blue leadwort. I'm really excited about the Oklahoma Proven Annual for 2005. It's the Summer Snapdragon, or as I like to call it, Angelonia. It's actually not a true annual. It is a tender perennial, or actually a sub-shrub. It's from Mexico, and it's no stranger to heat. The plants just keep producing these flowers on these little spikes throughout the growing season. It's one of my favorite bedding plants to use. I like using it in beds and also in containers for those little spikes of different color. The summer snapdragon is not anything like the typical snapdragon we grow in our gardens. The regular snapdragon sort of quit flowering when it gets hot. The summer snapdragon is just the opposite. It blooms more as the temperatures warm up. They are in the same family as snapdragons, the Scrophulariaceae, or the snapdragon family, along with the penstemons, Indian paintbrushes, and veronicas. But the Angelonia, or summer snapdragon that we have here, comes in several different colors of purple. Right back here, I've got a little vase with some of the different varieties. You can see that it also comes in white, it comes in pink, so you can do some great planting combinations with these. And perhaps my favorite is this beautiful white and bluish purple bicolored form. It gets a little bit taller than some of the others, and I think just a wonderful plant. This bicolored summer snapdragon, or Angelonia, our Oklahoma Proven Annual of 2005.